Alright, hello everybody, welcome back. Carl again. Today I want to talk about the process that I am doing to cure my dry rock. So what you see here is a tub of about 50 pounds of dry rock. Now, the story behind this rock is I got this from my buddy. He had a 75-gallon aquarium. He goes away on vacation and he lost his power for about 5 days to his tank. Killed everything in the tank except for a couple hermit crabs. Went ahead and started the tank back up after about 5 days of being down, and he had a massive hair algae outbreak. Of course, running for 5 days without any filtration, and all that fish waste and corals dying, he had a huge spike of nutrients. So anyhow, what he did was he ran the tank for a couple days, decided that he was going to drill his aquarium, broke the tank down, took this rock, which was live, set it outside. He went ahead and drilled the aquarium and he never got around to setting it back up. So this rock has been sitting outside for about 3 months in the winter, and I live here in Maryland. So it got really cold this winter, so everything on it is dead. So the process I did, I got the rock, I went ahead and soaked it in fresh tap water. And here in Maryland we have chlorine that they put into the water. So essentially, I also added bleach into that water, let it sit for 24 hours. So I essentially bleached the rock 24 hours. I drained that water away. I added new fresh water that had chlorine in it from the tap. I then used some neutralizer to to make sure there was no chlorine, and then I added muriatic acid. Now, muriatic acid is sold at your big box stores or any hardware store as pH down for swimming pools. It's sold as concrete etchant. It's also sold as some other various different chemicals or different compositions for paint under like Clean Strip brand. You can buy for about $13 2 1-gallon jugs in the concrete section. At the big box store, it's kept outside in a cardboard box. Stuff is very nasty. So I don't have any video of me doing the muriatic acid. One, it's a very nasty process. Two, I can admit no liability in this. That muriatic acid is very nasty. It burns your skin. It smokes. There's out a lot of fumes. So you're going to have to kind of do that on your own. But nevertheless, always add the acid to the water, not the other way around. That way you're diluting the acid as you're putting it in. I had about 20 gallons of water in an old 55-gallon aquarium, and I used about 1.5 gallons of the acid, and I got this nice clean rock. Now, I brought it inside. I got a heater, 2 little power heads in there. I soaked it overnight in RODI water, and let me just show you what that water looks like. So here is the RODI water left over. It's not too dirty. It's actually pretty clean. But there was still kind of like a slime feeling to it, to the rock, and it did kind of smell bad. So I went ahead and just used the RODI water. Now what I did was I did a 15-gallon water change on my aquarium where I just sucked out the water, put 15 gallons of new salt water in, and I'm going to put the old 15 gallons from my aquarium into this bucket so I can start the curing process. So that's where I'm at now. Now some people say use new salt water, and to me, that just seems like a waste of money. I'd rather use the salt water from the tank. The other thing I'm going to do is stick a piece of live rock in that tank to help populate the water. So I'm sure there's some bacteria in the water that'll get in there. And that way, when I stick this rock in my aquarium, I don't have any kind of massive nutrient spike. So that's my ultimate goal. So I'm going to add the water and I'll bring it back to you. Okay, so I just added about 12 gallons of the salt water. Couple quick notes. I went ahead and did the water change for my aquarium. I figured that would be the most beneficial for my aquarium. I put an additional water change into the system, and then this water here is going to get thrown out anyhow, so I hate to put fresh salt water in here and waste it. Nevertheless, you could do it either way. It's kind of up to you. I just assume that In my eyes, it's better to do a water change on your existing aquarium and use that old water. If the water is real dirty, you just let it settle for a while and all the dirtiness will settle to the bottom, and then you can siphon off the clean water to use that for cycling. So I have a heater in the bucket. I have a power head that is actually just sucking in some water, and then just a pump that kind of helps circulate the water in there. Now there's a bucket here. I have these 2 orange buckets, and that's just to try to help the Rubbermaid container keep its shape because I don't want it to fall apart. So I'm going to plug in the power head pump, and you'll see I'm just adding some oxygen. I do keep a lid on it to keep the algae down, as well as make sure the water evaporation is as low as possible. So I'm just trying to add some additional air into the system for the bacteria. My understanding is as the bacteria reproduces, they use the oxygen. So if there's not enough oxygen in the system, I'm afraid it's just going to kill that bacteria. Almost forgot. I forgot to plug in the power head there. Let me just take you a closer look here. You can see there's the power head right here, and then it just has a tube coming up to get oxygen in, and it just makes, you know, these nice little bubbles. So that's just to help oxygenate the water. So that'll conclude this part of the video. What I'll do is, in about a week, I'll do water testing and then an update video so we can see how it goes. And then I'll do another update video after a week of that, and then at 30 days. And I'll bring one video of that process to you here in about 30 days. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, always ask them down below, and thanks for watching.